what I would like to do is to tell you a little bit about our company, and then a little bit about our collaboration with SinterCast and the relationship that we've had in the last 10 years. So first of all, our company, I say my company because I'm one of 3 brothers who now own and run that business. It's a family-owned business, and we're in the 3rd generation. Started by my grandfather back in 1946, along with his brother-in-law. The business was set up to support the local foundry industry in the UK, and in particular in the Midlands in the UK. This foundry business, as you may know, has since declined, and so we moved on to, through necessity, making our own castings. And here we are today, employing 350 people, and have annual sales in the region of 24 million pounds. So I think that works to about 300 million Swedish crowns. Is that? I'll ask the accountants, they should know. Okay. So we have one site, and principally we operate out of the UK. But of those 300 million crowns of sales, around 50% is exported. The markets that we support are firstly automotive, but out of that comes certainly motorsport, which takes around about 1/3 of our business. Prestige marks I would categorize as Aston Martin, Bugatti, these type of high-value vehicles, along with motorcycles, and latterly certainly commercial vehicles, including some military applications. We've invested in the last 18 months to enable us to take on a larger vehicle, but principally we work up to around 11 litre in cubic capacity of engine. So really small vehicles. We're also in aerospace, doing a small amount there in castings and both finishing and machining. So we support principally, as Steve said, the upfront end of the business, which comes from the design houses, which are spread throughout Europe and North America. We have, of course, the OEMs, which I'm sure you recognize a few names here. As I said, the niche business. And then, of course, we find ourselves working in the business where we are making early prototypes into transition of going into production. We find that our customer becomes from the design house, maybe to the OEM, to the Tier 1. And we're offering support to the Tier 1 to develop their part into mass production from what we have learned in the early prototype stages. And of course, I mentioned that we're in racing. This is maybe the glamorous side of things, but it is somewhere where we can apply our technology and also our speed to market. So we are supporting Formula 1 and in particular regard to SinterCast and CGI, obviously the NASCAR grid as well is well represented by CGI blocks. So for our customers, we are probably the largest independent provider of prototype castings. It's a big line to say that, but I'm quite confident in saying that. It's largest isn't always best, but it does mean that you have an extent of capabilities that we can offer our clients. We produce both iron and aluminium castings, and from 10 years ago, predominantly we would have been known as a provider of aluminium castings. In the last 3, 4, 5 years, this has now become more equilibrium in between aluminium and iron parts. We typically provide early prototype parts. So this means often one or can be a number of parts, 30, 40 pieces. As the part develops, the customer may want to come back for confirmation of prototypes or even early production runs because of timescales, or the tier one provider needs more time to develop their process. You see there the circa 5,000 as well. This is in our niche business and also in our aftermarket business, where after production some clients will come back to us and ask that we make production as well. We are most definitely specialists in cylinder heads and blocks. This means complex, high integrity castings. But our business is, I think, more than 80% cylinder heads and cylinder blocks. So anything that I talk to you about today is in relation most definitely to this, although we are not just limited to heads and blocks. It's just that we are able to demonstrate our capability and offer more value to our clients with these type of components. Our business is castings. The core business is supplying castings, but 50% of our revenue comes from those added value around castings, which means design, engineering, tooling, machining, finishing, assembly, and all of these things. And this is why SinterCast and Grainger and Worrall had a good fit, because we are value-added suppliers. Our customers look to us for speed, technology, experience, and confidentiality, which, as Steve alluded to, prevents me from telling you too much detail today. So a little bit about our history with CGI and of SinterCast. In '98, I personally took a phone call from a SinterCast employee at the time, and was convincing me that this material would be the way forward, would be the way of the future. Very quickly, I started to have inquiries and interest from my clients to say, do you cast this material? How can you do it? So in 2000, we had our first casting trials with the SinterCast team coming into Grainger and Worrall, and we poured our first CGI. At this time, we made no sales from this. We just added it to our portfolio and went and told people, yes, we could do this. By 2001, there was enough interest in the market that we needed to really formalize our relationship with SinterCast. So we signed a collaboration agreement, which was simply to say we would go out together, and where SinterCast had some prototype opportunities, they would refer them to me, and when we were asked about CGI, we would say, okay, SinterCast is our provider for this technology. Very quickly, we were having so many inquiries and needed to cast more and more that we were spending more on airfares to bring over guys from Sweden to operate the process, that it was obvious that we should invest into this. And in '04, I'm pleased to say that I convinced my colleagues at Grainger and Worrall that we should invest in a mini system. And since that time, there hasn't been a week, and now not a day or a shift, where that equipment's not operated in our company. In fact, CGI is more than 50% of our iron sales today. And that's not, the denominator has changed also, as I said, because iron castings has also grown fourfold within our company in the last 10 years. So you can see here a very simple graph of those early years where we made the first development parts, and really we did not sell so much, maybe 100 kilos here or there of castings, and we just made development parts. 2005, we started to gather momentum with one program, And then, as you can see, in 06, 07 and forecasted for 08, we are moving forward so that we are casting more than 100 tons of prototype and race CGI at Grainger and Worrall. This probably represents in the region of 40 to 50 blocks per week of prototype blocks. So I think of interest to you guys is in the last 24 months. You can see here a snapshot of the business that we have done in terms of development programs. All I can say is that, give you a basic description of these parts, but we have made 11 V-blocks development programs, so that is 11 different programs. It's not 11 of the same part or 11 of a development of the same part. It is separate programs, sometimes for separate customers. We've done some single cylinder head concepts, and we've done some other small parts, including torsional vibration dampers and some brake discs and things. When I calculate this through using Dr. Dawson's simple formula, I'm told that this comes out in something, it could be projected that the mature volume of these parts would be in the region of 2.5 million engine equivalents. So, in summary, in the last 10 years, I have personally witnessed walking into a company and discussing CGI and SinterCast and having a complete stonewall or people misunderstanding completely what I was saying about the material or what it could offer, to a position now where it has become the standard for new V-diesel cylinder blocks in passenger and light-duty vehicles. Typically, many of our clients see this now as the only option. And as they are becoming more familiar in the material and what it has to offer and the availability of this material, we are seeing interest in other applications as well. So really for us, the last 10 years and certainly the last 3 years have been extremely positive, and yeah, we look forward to riding this wave on for the coming years. Thank you.